Welcome to the channel. Here we are at St Lawrence and All Saints Steeple in Essex. This is a very interesting church from the exterior. I really love the pattern of the stones. We don't know if it's open, of course, but we're going to go inside if we can get in. Have you tested the door? Oh, okay. If you find the church is locked, please call the mobile number and we'll come and unlock it for you if someone is available. Okay. It is locked. Let's see if I can ring someone. Well, I've just spoken to someone who's kindly agreed to come out and let me in. So they should be here within 10 minutes, which is absolutely fantastic. And while I'm waiting for the man to arrive to let me in, I'm going to have a quick wander around the exterior and hopefully he should be here by then. My son's waiting outside the front so he can let him know if I'm still on the other side of the church. Look at all these angels here, they look pretty, don't they? That's lovely. What's on here actually? Oh, foundation stone. Hello. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Very pleased to. You're interested.
We're staying in a holiday park near here and we were just really impressed by the beauty of the brickwork. It's quite unusual, isn't it?
It is unusual, yeah. Talk about that in a minute.
Oh, brilliant, yeah. I'm filming, is that okay? Because I do a YouTube channel.
You do what you like, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you could say it's a little bit of a sham, really, because it's a brick building. It doesn't look like a brick building, but I can assure you it's totally a brick building. And what you're seeing is merely cladding on top of the brickwork.
Oh, I see. But it's been well done. It's really...
Well, yes, it's a question of just where that cladding all came from.
Right.
Because as you see, it's a mixture of tiles and bricks and soapstone and various other stuff, and bits of other stones as well.
Yes, it sort of looks like it's been reclaimed.
Well, exactly. It has been reclaimed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because it might have been reclaimed twice even. There was a previous church which was about a quarter of a mile in that direction.
Oh, that direction,
in
right.
the middle of a field.
Right.
And when they rebuilt, they came here. Probably a lot of that was reclaimed from the old building.
Right.
It's questionable whether some of it might have been reclaimed because those tiles and things might have even be older still. And this might be their third usage rather than their second.
Yes.
You see, there was a Roman settlement at Bradwell.
Yes, it does look
and
Romanesque,
of course the Romans used tiles and stuff. So
like that, yes.
It's possible that some of those things, this is their third life.
What with the Hadrian's Wall, a lot of the houses...
well, you know, exactly,
yeah. There's a magnificent key.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
Well, that was actually isn't an original. That was made by a guy who used to live across there. But the originals are exactly like that. We've got 3 or 4 keys in total, and that's one of them. Yes, and on a day like today, it's lovely to come in here for the cool.
It is, because...
being a brick building, it works like a storage heater. In other words, you come in here in the summer and it's always cooler than outside.
Yes.
You come in here in the middle of the winter and it's always warmer than outside, you see, for the same reason, because the thermal mass of the bricks don't change as fast as the air temperatures.
Yes.
They did reclaim a few things from the old church. This door and also the door frame on the outside. This definitely all came from the previous church. Because
Yes.
we do actually have a picture of the previous church. I'm not sure I can find one for you.
Right, okay, yeah.
Where you can actually see this door frame. I think it probably says on there what it was. It was
Okay.
about 15th century, yeah. If you go back to that era, part of Steeple, a bit on the Blackwater, is called Standsgate, which today is about 2 or 3 houses. But actually that was more important than Steeple in times gone past. People do an abbey. It was never an abbey, but it was a priory, sort of a lower level of an abbey. So when you look in the old records, it talks about Standsgate with Steeple, and then as the time goes on, you find they reversed it. They talk about Steeple with Standsgate.
Okay, so it's a prominent sort of change.
Yeah, the importance sort of changed, and then
Yes.
of course now it just says Steeple, you know. Obviously they changed over the years. If you look at, I mean, this was actually built about 1884, I think it was.
Okay.
So, you know, it's 145 years old. A lot of it is typical Victorian. I mean, those windows you can see are obviously typically Victorian church windows.
Yes.
But then when you look over this side, you see there's another Victorian church window. And you look at that one, it's different. You can actually see that on a picture of the old church. They salvaged that one.
I mean, would it be online if you're not able to? The organ's interesting as well, isn't it?
This was obviously salvaged from another church, because it talks here about 1859. Well, that's before this church was built. And it talks about church wardens. Well, they're not in our list of church wardens. So
I see.
that obviously was salvaged from another church. I mean, the bell, as it says up there, the bell is way, way older than you can't get up there, I'm afraid. That font is also somewhat interesting because the upper part of it, not the bottom, or this part, again, is much older than the church, and it was discovered about 120 years ago, being used as a cattle drinking trough.
They did a nice job to match it off, though, I think.
Oh, no, I can find you. If you want to give us a couple of quid, you can have these photographs.
Yes, certainly.
One of them shows the old church. That's this church when it was new, you know, when it was young. Now there you are. Now you can see that doorway. You go outside and compare it with that, and you can see that window. So that was the old church just before it. Presumably that was the nave, and there was probably originally a chancellor on here which had already fallen down. Still one pub up here called the Star, and that picture is taken outside. That is the Star. That's somewhat similar still. Now that is down that way. There used to be a boat building yard down there. We're not actually right on the water, so to get the boats to the water they had to put them on a trailer and tow them with horses. Well, that building is still there actually. It used to be a shop and post office. It's just along here. Those buildings are further up the street. That building is still much the same. Those I think have disappeared. Those have been renovated. So that one has definitely disappeared. That used to be another pub, which is actually now a private house. And that, at the other end of the village, there's what used to be a congregational chapel, which is now a private house.
Thank you so much.
You get dragged down to all these churches, but you want to come along. We are lucky because we get, most Sundays, we get several people with your age coming. With your age group or a bit younger than you. And it varies as it brings it, but yeah, I mean, often half a dozen people well, children of one age or another, which is nice. The people on the upper one came from the parish of Steeple. The lower one came from the chapel. You know, one of those pictures I said was the
Yes.
chapel? Well, that chapel, although it was in Steeple, had a wider catchment area. If you went to that chapel, you got on that one at the bottom,
Yes.
regardless of whether you lived in Steeple or not.
Oh, okay.
If you happened to live in Steeple and went to that chapel, then you get on both of them, you see.
Oh, well, what I did notice it was the name Wedgwood Ben. It was a political link.
That, in fact, was Tony's elder brother, who was a fighter pilot. He was in the Battle of Britain. He wasn't killed in the Battle of Britain. He was killed in France a bit later in the war.
So my son, he's wanting to head off, so I'll see you a little bit later. Okay.
I needed a break from my gardening, so...
Oh, did you been doing that, have you? Gosh. This picture, so these are very nice paintings.
We had a lot of serious damage in the, remember the 87 storm?
Oh, yes. Yeah, very well, actually, yes.
Obviously, we had to do a lot of different fundraising. Well, one of them was that painting.
It's a very nice window, this one as well. Very colourful.
Yeah, that's the only stained glass window we've got.
Thank you ever so much for coming out. As I say,
cool.
I do really appreciate it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
nice to meet you.
Yeah. I heard you said to him about, oh, I'm dragging you along here, but funny enough, he's sort of dragging me here because he's crazy about bin lorries. So we travel around to see bin lorries because he's been interested since age 2.
He'll love tomorrow. Tomorrow's bin low.
Oh, he's around here. Oh, well, I'll tell him that
Yeah, tell
so
him
he can get out
tomorrow
because
morning now. Yeah.
he's up like a shot if he sees them. Oh, so Thursday morning, right?
Tomorrow
Okay, so
morning,
I'll let
Thursday
him know
morning,
that.
They will definitely be coming through here. Yeah, it's not recycling because they do alternate weeks. So
Okay.
it's not recycling week. So if it was last Thursday, you'd see all the pink sacks around here because they're
Oh,
recycling.
he said they were pink sacks.
That was last Thursday.
Right.
This week you won't see any pink sacks. You'll just see some black bins because it's the non-recycling stuff. Right, well enjoy
All right.
the rest of your holiday.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.